Allow the children
it's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah, them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary láyé bí number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùnra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ,
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùnra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o,
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùnra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ,
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùnra jù.
Today. Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, a good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you're joining us. It is Maiyegun live. Thank you. Meanwhile, as you are joining, remember, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. Simple as that. Now tonight, we are supposed to probably like have our Sunday sermon, but we can have a blend of it in this chat this evening. So a report among many other worrisome reports coming from Nigeria. And since, the effort, especially on Maiyegun's diary Politico, is to, remind everyone that the only way an injustice can end, or the only way the injustice can be stopped, is when those who are not affected are louder than the victims. I think that was Benjamin Franklin. Is that his name? That's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Injustice will end when the people that are not affected, when the unaffected are louder than the victims. Do you get that now? Meaning you don't have to wait to be a victim of a misgoverned country. Because what you have is when you have this terrible kind of leadership, poor governance, then you have a total breakdown of a law and order where the non-state actors, right, are just running amok. While, in a disorganized, mismanaged society, you get to see that religion tends to be a very powerful tool that the ruling class have used for a while to keep people divided, violent, and while they continue their own looting. They've destroyed education anyway, so it is expected. So you don't have to wait to be a victim, right, before you should speak up. And that's what we are doing on Maiyegun's diary Politico. It's not like many of these things have affected so many of us directly, even though we have some of us here who have their own personal experiences from what Nigeria and a failed Nigeria has done to them. So let's get started. There is a woman, right, in Niger State. In fact, it is a community called Kasuwar-Garba community in Niger State, a local government called Mariga Local Government Area, right? So it was reported that a food seller, right, who is well known in the community, she's a food seller, meaning probably half of the community buys from her, right, was having probably an argument or a banter with our nephew, allegedly, because they said that one said or told her that, following the dictate of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, that he could marry her. Do you get it now? And she probably responded in a way, for example, which Muhammad, you're not serious, something like that. And they said, these Islamists, Islamic fanatics in that community, they pounced on her. Nobody could save her. Not that she's a non-Muslim or she herself was a Muslim, but it was just a banter between, two families, I think, or same family members, or two members of a family, right? And that triggered these murderous, bloodthirsty Islamic terrorists in northern Nigeria. Because Nigeria is a place where people are willing to kill, right, for their God. And while they pray that the God should come and fight their battle for them. Unfortunately, it won't be the first time. Northern Nigeria, when I say northern Nigeria, I think we should always make it very clear. Areas where this extremism actually flourishes in northern part of Nigeria are the areas we call the Islamic Sharia North. Okay. So about 2 years ago, or thereabouts, a young lady, right, called Deborah, had an altercation, like an exchange with our own classmates, okay, on a WhatsApp group that was meant for their class and their own school. So she told those who were extremists, of course, that she thought they were just our fellow students who were posting all of this, their Islamic this, Islamic that, on what was supposed to be a platform set up to share, their notes, class notes, assignments, and every other information that has to do with their class. So she protested. She said, "Why can't you guys just go and post this thing in other group, that Islamic group? Why are you posting it here?" That was her offense. They said she has blasphemed against their Muhammad, their prophet. And in that regard, she must die. These were students too. These were not illiterate. So the damages that the religion has done, especially in that northern part of Nigeria, is so extreme. But guess what? They also have what is called the political sort of advantage. I'm talking about this Islamic extremist in northern Nigeria. Okay, Deborah was targeted. The moment she was spotted, they ran after her. These were students, supposedly educated children, right? They ran after her. She ran and ran and ran until she fell. When she fell, they pounced on her, beat her until she couldn't move. Those who were the school security and the rest, they just looked away. Other students, they looked away. Everybody left her like she had committed one crime that if you want to save your own head, walk away. That is the idea. Blasphemy. A family member, right, was having a conversation with another family member. And then this Islamist eavesdrops it. I mean, if they eavesdropped, and the next thing they pounced on her too. Nobody in the community could save her. Probably everybody feared them so much that they just watched it happen. They beat her until they burnt her like they did to Deborah. And of course, that will be the moment you are going to just the silence of this mouthy, loudmouth, self-entitled northern political criminals. You're just going to experience an extreme silence. Their silence will be so loud and stinking as well, like it's so stinking. Their hypocrisy. So this young woman has been killed, like Deborah, our own killers. Nobody will look after, nobody will go after them. Nobody is even looking for them, right? But let's just put it in the record. Among the things that we never thought in a country that is running a democracy, that as government, stuffs like this will continue to happen. And there are people who they justify it. And I'm talking about those who have had the opportunity of being in higher political offices. There was a time that they were talking about that Deborah. Look at this tweet from this mofo. His name is Bashir Ahmed, yeah? He was working for Tifnumbu, right? When they accused some 9 people in Kano, right, to be saved, because those ones, right, they were eventually arrested because they said something about Muhammad. Now, read this tweet. Read this tweet from this guy, right? This was in 2015, by the way. He said, "I can't pretend or keep silent. I support the death penalty for blasphemy. That is my belief, and I do not and will never support the Canon 9." Right? So he ended up spending 8 years as Bukwari's social media advisor. When the time of Deborah happened, right, some of these extremists, their old kind of like a post on similar issue started popping up, right? And for those who for those who are kind of like observant enough, right, you get to know that Nigeria political system has been hijacked and now fully in the control of extremists who have access to power. So you will see their hypocrisy when something like, like what happened in Uromi, which is also condemnable on its own, by the way, right? But you saw it was more or less like, Nigeria was going to break up. We need apologies, and we wanted to parade those people who did that on the streets, and the blah, right? But whenever they are extremists, because they don't want to offend them, they don't want to offend these, violent, murderous, Islamic extremists in their midst, because they are the same people they use to intimidate people during elections. People that can burn and kill people. I'm talking about even children, Al-Majiri, right? Once it is the shout of they should kill this person, blasphemy, right? A child knows that, a child right there believes that it is the right thing. So they were born into it, they were raised inside that, and condemning it. No, there is not condemnable. You will see some of them that are a little bit educated or even extremely educated, right? And then you see them use all these fancy big words to explain it away until it fizzles out. And everybody just forgets about it until it happens again to somebody else, like this woman in Niger State. So people will ask, justice for. It is the society without justice. That is where you usually scream justice for every now and then, and you never get it. Nigeria. Remember that lady, Fina, I think that's her name. She has a sister, or had a sister now. She has a sister, right, that got crushed by the Dangote trucks. One of the Dangote trucks in Auchi, right? And then she lost her legs. Her sister, who was part of the BBN Niger or something. So she raised the alarm, demanded that Dangote should take care of, her sister's medical bills. She's been all over the place. Today, right, the young woman is dead. That's Fina on the left. That's her sister on the right. And right now, Dangote, Dangote trucks, or now the Dangote company, they are sending their condolences. Nigeria can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere, because it is what is expected of an unjust society. You shouldn't wait to be a victim before you speak out or speak up, because you may never have that chance of even like speaking up at that dire minute when it's more or less like the end, sort of. So I don't know if we should be asking for justice for food seller in Niger, and then we start listing out those who deserve justice, or you begin to actually go after the criminals who have now weaponized extremism for their political advantage, right? Now let's put that aside. Talking about the killings in Kaduna, right? In Kaduna, it was reported that just last week, when these Fulani terrorists invaded another community and they killed 7 people. Now, those people have been buried. They were buried yesterday. But that same yesterday, it was also reported that Kaduna Abuja Express Road, that mockery guy did a video and told you that it is so safe and all that nonsense, right? 4 people were also killed by these terrorists. Meanwhile, prior to that, and this was like about 9 or 10 days ago, in Katsina, they were picking dead bodies everywhere. Tinubu was in Japan, I think, at the time. Yeah, I think. He was in Nigeria. There is no word, not a single word from Tinubu is illegitimate regime, is court jesters. They just ignored it. And it's for a reason. They were discussing if those who were earning minimum wage of 70,000 naira, whether they will pay tax or they won't pay tax. Oh, no, you will pay. It's only on 40,000. The blah. 55 people slaughtered in Katsina by the same Fulani terrorists, extremists too. And the people they killed, Baba, they were killed inside mosque. They were Muslims too. Remember this guy was just saying something on that just recently. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Oji, for having me today. So what happened in Gidam Mantau was, as you mentioned, horrific. And the honest truth is that it's one of many, just one too many. About 100 of these terrorists rode into this village on their motorcycle at dawn and gunned down 32 worshippers in the mosque, praying their morning prayers. And then came out and gunned down 20-something more. As at today, we are told that the total death toll is about 55 villages. So, how can any human being make sense of this atrocity? No one can. And we are pained, all of us. I am from Katsina. There is nowhere in the world, and I've been around the world, there is nowhere in the world I would rather be and spend my last days than in Katsina. But this is where we were. So 100 terrorists on a motorcycle, 3 on each bike, rode into a village. One would ask, where is everybody? Where are the police? Where are the soldiers? Where are the community watch guard, the state vigilante? Nobody. And they put roadblocks in and out of the village. And they spent hours doing this dastardly act. And they carted a lot more into the forest. So how can any human being make sense of this? And nobody is taking responsibility. The primary responsibility of any government is to protect life and property. If they cannot do that, then that government has no need to be a government. It is not a government. So these people, and of course the state governor was on vacation. The deputy governor who was deputizing for him wrote a letter, an SOS letter to the president, who himself was in Japan and had not formally handed over to his vice president. So that Gidam Mantau and the whole of Katsina state was left until the president came back. I mean, this was not only very sad, but a failure. We like it or not, there's no way of spinning it. Security agencies, the federal government, the state government failed the people of Gidam Mantau and the people of Katsina. End of story. And the earlier we start making people take responsibility rather than reinforcing failures, the better. And I've said it repeatedly, the war on banditry can never be won on the battlefield. Can never be won on the battlefield. There is a definite role for the military, but there is never going to be a military solution to banditry. All the problems are local. Solutions must be found locally. Why did this good-for-nothing kids go and do this? What is the local issue? And I'm bringing this up because last week Sunday we in Katsina indigenes here met in Abuja with chairmen of local governments, of 10 local governments in Katsina. As we speak now, Katsina state, Borno state is safer and more secure than Katsina. 24 out of our 34 local governments are under siege by bandits. That is 70% of Katsina. 70% of Katsina. We met with 10 chairmen of local governments in 10 frontline states. Here in Abuja, to hear what they are doing locally. And to be honest, I was very impressed with how a lot of these young chairmen were tackling security issues, unique security issues locally. The federal government and the state government and security agencies are not understanding the local issues, are bringing big plans from Abuja. That is why they haven't worked and will never work over the last several years. Importantly, you mentioned security in Nigeria, we are thinking is buying drones, buying guns, buying bombs, buying this. No. The fuels of insecurity, no nation, Nigeria will never be safe if we don't take care of the fuels of insecurity. What are they? Poverty, hunger, out-of-school children, drugs, illiteracy, youth unemployment, corruption, and bad governance. You don't take care of this, you are buying bombs and Tucano jets. We are not going to take care of that. I'm a doctor. You don't have a diagnosis, you will never write a prescription. And that's all we've been doing. Kinetic. Where has that gotten us over the last 12 years? We have not sat down to understand what the problems are. And in the north and all over this country, this is the mistake we've been doing all this while. You cannot take care of insecurity in any community if you exclude traditional rulers and clerics. Governors came yesterday and they think they know everything. Traditional rulers and clerics and elders in each community must be involved. And the presidency needs to take charge. If I am the commander-in-chief, I will demilitarize this fight on banditry and invest a lot more on social issues and take care of, soldiers have a role. I know that because I was in the forest with soldiers and they gave us the backup and we know the role and the responsibilities of soldiers. Soldiers are essentially, the military is essentially, the role of the military is to provide an enabling environment for peace to happen. They are not the ones to reconcile communities, fighting communities. We're just throwing them into communities that have been fighting. General Lagbaja, our late Chief of Army Staff, said it. The military is...
Now, I decided to play that clip just so you get to understand from his own mouth, is from that place, the atrocities of these terrorists on bike. Now, how do you resolve the terrorists, well-armed group of people, well-armed though, with military-grade weapons? They have explosive, they plant landmines, they have the capacity to take over military posts, military barracks. They've attacked where, Nigeria's armory. They have that capacity. They have shot at fighter jets. They've shot down fighter jets in Nigeria, in Niger State. So what do you offer such people? The non-kinetic that these guys have been, because the reason why the terrorism has become an industry in Nigeria is because the northerners that orchestrated it, they orchestrated it, nurtured it, funded it, just for political control, for political power. Not considering the aftermath or the sustenance of such violence, organized violence against their country. So don't let us pretend about it. Terrorism in Nigeria didn't happen from the blues. And his own survivor, the survival of terrorism in Nigeria for over a decade, is not because the terrorists are invincible. It is not because the terrorists cannot be defeated. The reason why they can't, and also the reason why they won't be defeated, is because the real terrorists are those who are controlling the power and those who are influencing them, all for political control. And that is why, right, in the past, those who have really unleashed hell on these terrorists in northern part of Nigeria, they have either been killed or replaced. Evidence also, and who are those who are pushing that the terrorists shouldn't actually be killed. Guys like that. But meanwhile, this is for northern Nigeria. When it comes to the southern part of Nigeria, the southeast, the southwest, these guys, they are the forefront of calling on the military to use their might and crush the IPOB, demanding for the state of Biafra. They are asking the military, the government, to go after anything ESN, Eastern Security Network, which is in itself is literally your local security in the eastern part of Nigeria. When the political class knows that setting up such outfits would automatically put them in a political disadvantage, so they ignored it or glossed over it until Nnamdi Kanu put words to action. This particular guy, and then he killed Osama bin Gumi, who happened to be his own mentor too. They were co-travelers. But these guys traveled to Oyo State. He's saying they found a spot to make a video, right? And they were telling the history of how the Fulanis and the Yorubas and this and that at that spot. Therefore, they were calling on Bokuwari to kill Sunday Igboho. They were calling on Bokuwari to kill Nnamdi Kanu. Because according to them, right, the same way they are advocating for non-kinetic, another nonsense they are saying, right, in northern Nigeria, there are those who are carrying military-grade weapons on bikes, ransacking villages, slaughtering people, women, children, elderly, right, that the military shouldn't. But you see, in the southern part, southwest, where we had Sunday Igboho and, his own team going after the Fulani terrorists in the forest that are doing similar thing that is happening in northern Nigeria. So these guys believes that for Igboho to be doing that is completely working against the interest of the northern Nigeria. Therefore, Bokuwari should do something. And they did do something. In the eastern part of Nigeria, because they believe that the ESN is set up to go after Fulani terrorists and their likes in their forest, right? They demanded for an end to the existence of such a group, and rather, they will support the idea of letting these terrorists use those weapons to guide our forest. Like terrorists do, for peace to reign. Why don't you just leave the forest for them so that they can be guiding it for you? What does that even mean? Guiding it from who? Who are they going to be guarding the forest from? Right? So now he's surprised that terrorists could be so bold to go to Katsina and kill people, worshippers in their mosque, And in that same breath, he is still advocating for non-kinetic this, non-kinetic that. Our security is local. Is it only local to the northern Nigeria? Even the middle belt of Nigeria doesn't enjoy such, all politics is local. When the Fulanis are ransacking these states, their communities, killing them en masse. And the reason why government won't do anything per se, rather, they said they are using carrot and stick. So if you're using carrot and stick, means that you'll be whipping them. And then for those ones who didn't wait to be whipped, give them the carrot and whip. Whip means that at least there is meant to be the use of force, coordinated enough that it is not just the one they are coordinating for media, what do you call it, propaganda. Insecurity should be, or should I say, security should be everybody's business. So it's insecurity, should be everybody's business. But unfortunately, those interests, that are vested interests, that their interest is so powerful, it supersedes the interest of Nigerians, their safety, their security, their well-being, their prosperity, which should always be the first priority of any real government. If you had one, fortunately you don't. There are those who believe that they do when they don't, right? Because how do you choose those leaders? By election, selection, pre-planned end result and all that. Well, you did witness that in River State just yesterday, where Werewike and his co-travelers have had their feel. But guess something, right? I am suspecting that Werewike has outplayed his own hands in these their rivers of trouble. And what do I mean by that? They have 23 local government areas in River State. Okay, it is believed that PDP is the government in River State before they introduced the sole administrator. So since Werewike and his people are in town, right, a lot of Rivers have sort of like a pullback to let them just do whatever they want to do, as their supposed local government elections videos and what have you from there showed yesterday. But something kind of like strange, mental happened. Maybe not strange. Werewike has been fighting the entire structure of a PDP. Right now, they have two structures or two factions. Those who are loyal to Werewike and those who are loyal to Bala Mohammed, Solo Makinde, and what have you. So that will be soon pronounced. However, when Tifnumbu removed Fulbara, suspended him, right, and replaced him with a sole administrator, the sole administrator came in. He removed everyone appointed by Fulbara, and those ones who were also elected were also removed to be replaced by those unpicked by Werewike, suspectedly should be members of his party, PDP. As if, let's just assume that Werewike is a PDP, right? But he's a minister with Tifnumbu in APC. His job is to keep PDP incapacitated politically. I mean, he did that the last time, and he's expected to do it again. But they twisted it again in this their local government charade. You know what happened? They declared APC winner of 20 of the local government areas. So just like that, it now shows that it is the APC that controls the local government areas in River State. So by the time Fulbara comes back, it would have just 3 local government areas. The 3 local government areas, they declared for PDP, right? As they always write their results. So the 3 local government areas they declared for PDP, one of them is Obiakpo, Werewike's local government area, where he scored nearly 400,000 votes for PDP. And then averagely kind of left 60, 70,000 votes for APC in other local government areas, right? So in that exercise, it was like they had almost like 800 or 900,000 votes for APC and, like about 900,000 votes, maybe 1 million. I didn't do the math. That's not the purpose, all right? So whenever Fulbara comes back, it will be expected to join APC straight. But what about Werewike? He is going to remain in PDP, I think, right? So Werewike believes that he is smart and he wants to replicate Tifnumbu's dynasty in River State. It can't be like, say, instead of him to replicate what he had in mind in River State to become the godfather, he is actually becoming Tifnumbu's boy. How? Like that, he has managed to politically write himself under Tifnumbu. Because right now, APC in River State, they are not even aware of this victory. Can you believe that? Because APC in River State is also divided into 2, right? There's a guy called something Okocha. That one's tenure as chairman of APC in River State ended a few years back. But this impunity, lawlessness, right, with Werewike is now the recognized chairman of APC in Rivers, while the court recognized chairman is walking about more or less like addressing himself and those who likes him. But like in the space of governance, is not recognized. So these guys who are now the APC chairmen in Rivers State, right? That simply means that the APC, either with the APC state or APC national, they don't even have any idea who they are or how they became chairman. APC Abuja address, they don't even know how APC won local government elections in Rivers State because they didn't campaign. They didn't do anything. It was just like when Fulbara sent his guys to go and come out from PRP or BRPP, and he remained the PDP. So the point here and now is that with this great handover to Tifnumbu, it is like a no going back for Wirewike. He has put all his eggs in one basket. If he should fall, hey, Omo, documentary go there of Wirewike's greatest fall politically. And I mean, I'm not in control of that. So it's more or less like he's just showing to us what he signed up for. The moment he handed his entire survivor, handed it over to Tifnumbu, because if Tifnumbu wakes up tomorrow and sack Wirewike, it's over. Do you get what I mean? His relevance is whatever it is right now is based on Tifnumbu covering for him. You know, that's immunity and all that. Let's go to Rivers. And on our way back, right? Oh, sorry, when we come back. And when we are done with the Rivers, we shall go and listen to this guy who said he was the one who introduced Deji to Obi. And there was never a time that Deji was offered any money. And in fact, there were even more. We'll get to that part. Here, Rivers and their election. I've been at their charade.
I am a returning officer for the local government election held on the 30th day of August 2025 in Nkoro LGA. The election was contested. The candidate received the following votes. Barrister James A. James, a male, political party APC, scored 34,822 votes. No candidates for other parties, although they have votes. So far, this is the result. The declaration can only be done by the chairman. Thank you.
All right.
I am Obemiata Emmanuel Oriakono, the returning officer for Bonny Local Government Area Chairmanship election that held on the 30th August 2025 in Bonny Local Government. Collation was carried out at Ibanise, and the following results. Party A, 1 vote. Party AA, 32 votes. Party AAC, 11 votes. Party ADC, 32 votes. Party ADP, 3 votes. Party APC, 13,543 votes. Party APGA, 14 votes. Party APM, 1 vote. Party APP, 27 votes. Party BP, 0 votes. Party LP, 738 votes. Party NNPP, 5 votes. Party NRM, 319 votes, 319. Party PDP, 336 votes. Party PRP, 1 vote. Party SDP, 7 votes. SDP, 7 votes. YP, 4 votes. YPP 132 votes, ZLP 2 votes. Thank you very much.
Hereby certified as follows: that 1, I am the returning officer for the local government election for chairmanship held on the 30th day of August 2025. 2, the election was contested. 2, there was an election. And 3, the candidates received as follows. The candidate received the following votes. 1, Father Saro Barry N, a male candidate of the AA party, scored 159. 2, 1 Thomas Barry of the APC, a male candidate, scored 156,027 votes. 3, Ruben Lene Godwin, a male candidate for the Labour Party, scored a total of 824 votes. And 4,
APC 70,080 votes, PDP 1,245 votes, PROP 532 votes. Total valid votes for the LGA for today's election stands as 72,770 votes, with a total of 326 votes as rejected votes, bringing us to total vote cast for this election as 73,096 votes, which is in agreement with the total number of votes of 73,096 persons that were accredited. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, my business is done. The rest will be to the commission. Thank you for being here. So, what's the
So even the APC members are just like, really? Wow. 20 local governments. If nobody don't win River State with that, where the week is working. You know? But you see how that will play out. So, Rotif Amechi, all of that you just watched as a result of the tradition of theirs in Rivers.
If you allow them leave you out, our state is notorious for writing results. We must stop them from writing results, right? They make noise after writing results. We will stop them from writing results. Please go home now and start organizing, because these are people that will come and vote. Let me tell you one bad thing that you should not do. When you say they have already written the results, you discourage voters from coming out. We will confront them on the issue of writing results. So ask voters to come out and vote. They should come out and vote for change. They should come out and vote for the removal of the current government. If not, you will die of hunger.
Only if not, you will die of hunger. Really? Rotif Amechi. But it's not wrong. For those who observed the charade, right? Even the one that Fulbara organized, that one was more or less like an election, right? You saw people, everybody, everywhere, and all that. Many videos here and there. There was not a single ballot snatching or anything, even though that itself was also scripted. But for this one, they brought in soldiers, police, civil defense, name it, even vigilante, right? So people didn't really come out. And voters' apathy is believed to be a very good ingredient for rigging elections, because all they have to do is just, you know what, how many voters in this area? 1,500. Okay. How many people come out? Just about 200 or 200. Okay. Who are they voting for? They are voting for the party we told them to. Okay. Now what we're going to do is that the results, right? How many votes did they give to our party? Say, well, out of the 200, they gave us 120. So we won. Or 120. I changed that 120 to 1,200. How much did they give to other people, other parties? Oh, they gave this one, party A, they gave them 25. Other ones 30. So you get what I mean? I say, okay, just leave those ones like that. And now, change that 120 votes, change it to 1,200. And it's as simple as that. So all they have to do is just to load it from every polling unit. And before you know it, a single local government can pull out 70, 80, 100,000, 200,000. Because that single local government, they may say the total registered voters there, they're like maybe 500,000. Right? With voters' apathy, that people are not coming, are not interested. It is a very good room. You know, and that's exactly what they are hoping for too in your 2027, right? But that one will be done from this your ongoing registration or so. Meanwhile, the last time, the guy that was declared as the chairman for the Obiakpo, right? I don't know who they changed him to now, because he's a PDP guy. Sorry, not PDP, he's gone to PRP, but they were all PDP, right? So I saw a video he put up today. I don't know if it's recent or another video to console himself. Remember that guy that looked like Wike? Yeah, the one that's ready to, from his local government, right? The one that removed Wike's name from the building. Remember? They were seen together, Fubara's men. They were seen together a few hours ago.
Somebody will like the Somebody will like Somebody will like Somebody will like Somebody will like Abia. Somebody will like Abia. Somebody will like Somebody for the back. Somebody will like who wants to let it back?
Grown men. Anyway, let's dive into the ongoing, spat, especially the one that is triggered by the Jadeyoju, right? So a lot of people have reacted when they heard that Obi gave him an ultimatum to retract and apologize on all the defamatory comments he's made about him. And it is, some said that Obi should grow further thicker skins, okay? Like, it should make himself available for criticism. While others are like, no. There's a difference between criticism and lies to defame, right? So if anybody feels like they are being, libeled against, so what you have to do is to seek a redress, and that is normal, not use the Nigerian style, to abduct someone, because you can. Do you get what I mean now? So, like all of these reactions, starting with the statement that Deji said, Obi offered him money. Thanks for coming, money. And also that Obi invested the state money into his family business, right? So there's someone who said it was the one who introduced them together. And the reason why he did it, he had no idea why Deji had to then turn around and be where he is now. He is a journalist. Now it's up to you what you think of it, but let's listen to him quickly.
Statements about him in public discourse and on various online platforms. Obi is demanding an immediate public retraction of all such statements alongside an unreserved written apology. But former political editor with This Day newspaper and media advisor to the past national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ike Aboyin, has described as a lie the statements made by Adeyanju against Obi. Adeyanju had allegedly tweeted that Obi told him that he invested Anambra State funds into his family business and also offered him some monetary bribe. However, Aboyin, who said he was with Obi when he met Adeyanju, said the former governor never made such statement or offered any money. While joining us in the studio, I'm glad to have former political editor with This Day newspaper and media advisor to previous PDP national chairman, Ike Aboyin. He's also a political associate of Peter Obi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean, you've issued a statement trying to clarify what actually happened. I mean, can you reflect on that meeting between Peter Obi and Deji Adeyanju? And you have said that Deji had wanted a ticket for the Ahmad Buhari federal constituency to be given to him by the Labour Party. But of course, maybe because he didn't get that, that could have led to this kind of comments.
Well, I wouldn't want to go into insinuating from that angle. I was actually at the meeting, not only at the meeting, but I brokered it. When I was in PDP, I headed a media committee to revive PDP. And at that time, some of these activists were coming around, and Deji was among them. That was when I met Deji. And we cultivated a relationship. So immediately after Mr. Peter Obi got the Labour Party ticket in May 2022, the euphoria of that time, Deji was contemplating running for House of Representatives for Abuja. And I felt that Labour Party needed somebody like him who is young and activist, popular and all those things. And I discussed it with Obi. I said, look, we need somebody like this who can try to arouse the public. And arranged for us to meet. And three of us met in the night. And we discussed amicably. Obi, as usual, welcomed the meeting and explained his life, how he came into politics and what he has done and all those things. After explaining, Deji was also touched. He started his own story and talked about how the mother played huge impact on him and all that.
Yeah, the mother case that was filed against him.
No.
Or his own mother.
Mother.
Oh, okay. I thought
you understand? No. I didn't have a We didn't discuss any other thing except after Obi finished his story, Deji now told his own story. And at the end of the day, we left there. It was a long discussion and a very friendly discussion. Because before then, Deji was in the public space, various statements and all that, supporting that this is the best man for this job. So it was based on that the meeting was even brokered in the first place. And after the meeting, 2 weeks after, he issued a statement, tweeted that Obi told him in that meeting that invested government money in his family business.
That's the Anambra State government.
Yes, government money in his family business. I couldn't imagine whether it's the one I attended.
And you were there all through. Was there also any offer of monetary inducement?
I was there. Not only that, I was there all through. I left there with Deji.
Interesting.
So when I saw that statement, my initial reaction was that they have met without me
somewhere else apart from that meeting.
You understand? Because the way he presented it was so assertive that it would be difficult for you to begin to doubt whether it's the one who participated. So I called this. I said, what happened? Did you meet with P2B in another place after I left or another place? He didn't give me any response. And I issued a statement 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I received that statement. Yes. We reported it. And you've just gone ahead to issue another statement. I mean, but what do you think would be the primary motive for Adeyanju's revelation? Because he says he's prepared to go to court if indeed Obi takes him to court and that he has evidence.
Well, I am curious because I will love to know, in terms of what may have prompted it, that will be going into Deji's mind, which I don't want to go. You understand? But I'm curious to see if this matter goes to court. Then let me see that. Because if it's something I was an outsider, then I was okay, maybe this happened, you can never swear for anything. But for this one, I cannot imagine.
Well, maybe the lawyers will be reaching out to you to serve as a primary witness in the case.
No, but to me, this matter is a distraction to the project.
You think so?
Yes.
You think that maybe some people, because I mean there have been allegations against against him online that maybe the APC is trying to use him. Some people even brought out different insinuations that he had an alleged murder case previously, and then of course one of the people who helped him out was Festus Keyamo. Maybe Deji is working for the APC and all of that through the back door to stop statements about him in public discourse and on various.
Again, it is just to add to whatever you have possibly, or however you see it, simply because of the available information. There are those who want what he's saying to be true, and there are those who believe that they are just worthless piece of nonsense. So if he ends up in court, what does that mean for Obi and his ambition in the long run? People are also discussing that too. I'll let the journalist finish before I add my own view. And you too, before you add anything, watch the remaining parts.
To the back door to stop Obi. I mean, different things, how the online space is like. I mean, do you think, as a political editor, this is calculated to distract Obi?
Definitely. Definitely, because given the way Deji is pursuing it, you know that there's some political undertone. Otherwise, if you made an allegation against somebody and say he's going to court, why rush to the media and start a media trial?
Well,
and you are a lawyer.
He claims that some of Peter Obi's supporters are all out against him, abusing him. He even allegedly said that, I mean, one of the supporters, Sarah Ibrahim, had called his wife a whore, and I mean, all sort of things happening. And Peter Obi did not caution his supporters, particularly this person, allegedly.
I don't know whether he's in Peter Obi's camp to know how Peter Obi reacts to things. Because he's not qualified to say that Peter Obi did not do something because he wouldn't know and he's not there. But the truth of the matter is that the way Deji is taking it, if you have made an allegation against somebody and you are a lawyer, go to court. Like I said, when this meeting took place, Deji was not a lawyer.
Yes.
And now he is a lawyer. I expected something more mature in handling this case.
Yeah, but I love the way you actually put it too, that these gentlemen are your friends, two of them, and that you would love to see how this can actually be settled. Is there any way that there could be maybe an out-of-court settlement if it does get to court, or you wouldn't even allow it to get to court in the first instance? Is there any way you could bring these two gentlemen together?
Well,
you think it's too late?
I am not a lawyer, and you know when lawyers are involved in a case, it's only them that will determine the extent. Me as a journalist and a friend of the two, I don't mind. Because to me, Obi is focused on the ball.
Yeah, but he feels injured. I mean,
yes,
he said his reputation has been injured. Deji too is also saying that he feels injured by obedience who are also abusing the hell out of him and all of that.
The thing is, anybody who has been following Obi's trend, Obi don't react to criticism, except when he goes to personalized things like this.
All right.
You understand? He doesn't like it. Even this one, I can tell you, pressure is on him. Why are you going to court?
Yes, I mean...
You understand? you understand? But the point is, it has to do with his reputation. So at a point, you have to look at both ways. But it doesn't mean it cannot be out of court. You understand? It's something that can be settled out of court. But it depends on the disposition of... If the media trial continues, nobody will just sit down and wait. But the most important thing is that it's a distraction to the main project.
All right, Aboyin, before we actually end this conversation, I want to speak from a higher level. Some people are saying that Peter Obi, by threatening to go to court, that means that he can't swallow what his own supporters are giving to others. That people like President Bola Tinubu, I mean, a whole lot of obedience have abused him, but he chose not to go to court. That can't Peter Obi act from a much more higher level? And, look at this, maybe like a distraction and ignore it. Because Tinubu has been abused severally, Atiku too has been abused severally, and other leaders, yet they don't go to court. That this is the price you have to pay for putting yourself out there.
That is to an angle, but anybody who has been following P2B since he became a national figure at presidential level will know that nobody has been so abused in the media space like him. Somebody like Reno Mokori was hired just to attack him. Has he talked to me? Has he gotten to God?
I mean,
there are so many other.
Always read.
You understand?
Their
There are so many other.
there
are so many other characters. You understand? And even if, like they just said, he offered him money and he refused and all that. Anybody who knows P2B is a Catholic, an ardent Catholic, and he went to adoration ground of Potambaka. And Baka wanted him to pronounce amount with the crowd there who will clap for him and they will pray to him. Say, look, I don't mention money. Yeah. Show me the project, I'll do for you. And I will do it. And this created some dispute between him and Potambaka.
All right,
that is Peter Obi when it comes to money issue. This matter, there are so many criticisms Obi has received because this touched on his person. The presidential spokesperson, Bayo Nanuga, woke up the other day and said Peter was organizing during the protest.
All right.
And he threatened to go to court. Later, that is spokesman of the president. So it's not about if you attack Peter on issues, on politics, on his politics and all that, you don't mind. But when you now come to his image, direct image, but that doesn't mean the matter should be allowed to be
all right. I'm afraid we don't have enough time, but you said it very...
And that's even enough. So again, right, I leave you, dear Templars, to make do with that whatever you think or whatever you want. As others, right? El Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, was with Shehu tonight. And I've kind of like grabbed a few of the snippets of what they discussed, right? So he was there to, again, raise awareness on the increasing violence, APC, Ebekebe-sponsored violence against opposition in Kaduna. He was there also to answer questions on, Shehu now. Shehu was asking him if he hated the Southern Kaduna people, yes or no, sort of that. And he didn't leave without telling everybody that his own calculation, what they calculated for 2027, that even if the 2027 election enters a runoff, that Tinubu will come third, and it won't even be on the ballot. Remember that he said that Tinubu's popularity or Tinubu's rating was very low, somewhere, somewhere around 7%. If an election is conducted in Nigeria, then that Tinubu would, all over Nigeria, that Tinubu will not score 7%. It was that bad. And he kind of was given the breakdown and all that. It was the same guy who said that Obi can't win. There's no pathway for him. And he was partly right, because there were those who worked to make sure that that didn't happen, right? However, he went on to say, yes, he scored a lot of number of votes, but he didn't win. He's not declared winner. In Nigeria, elections don't go to runoff. The first election in Nigeria that should have entered a runoff in a long time would be your 2023 charade, where all the three major participants or the three major presidential candidates actually scored, like they won over 12 states each out of the 36 states, right? And only one actually really scored the expected, constitutional required number, as well as the places, including Abuja, that he won. And that person is Peter Obi. Yeah. So that election should have automatically gone to a runoff. But Momodu Yakubu decided to turn it the other way. So El-Rufai is back. This time he's not projecting who is going to be or not, but I'm sorry, who is going to be, but he's telling you who is not going to be, and that would be Tifnumbu. But let's go in where they have that chart this evening. The first part. Listen to this part, like random gist, I'll share you guys. So, but this one.
Say whatever you want to say, but this coalition was started by a few people. And even a fool knows I'm one of the leaders of the coalition. Whether I'm a member of the party or not is beyond the pay grade of a thug in Kaduna parading himself as an ADC leader. Who are ADC leaders in Kaduna? After that statement, which was procured, the payment of 200,000 to the state publicity secretary, his own state working committee have disowned him. And they said they are going to subject him to disciplinary process. I am not just a member of the ADC. I am one of the leaders of the coalition. I'm one of those that worked to bring this thing together. You think some lowly member of the party in Kaduna, or claiming to be a member because he's not, is the one that will determine whether I'm a member or not? If you want to know whether I'm a member of the ADC or not, please call the national chairman of the party, Senator David.
Because the membership of a party, everyone is supposed to be rooted in their ward, to the local government, to the state. Everybody has to have a root. Even when you were governor, you go down to your ward to vote, don't you?
You don't know the constitution of the ADC, do you?
Oh, so what does it tell us?
Membership of the party can be anywhere. I live in Abuja now. I can register in Abuja.
Have you registered?
That's not for me to tell the world. Because I don't need, listen, sure, I'm not here to prove my membership of the ADC. I don't need to prove it to anybody. It's not even a matter that I think requires the wasting of our time. Let's go to more substantive issues. There are more serious problems in this country than my membership of the ADC or not.
I'd just like to know, for the avoidance of doubt, because you were once a member of the SDP. We saw you meeting with the SDP chairman at some point.
I'm a member of the SDP. And in case you have forgotten, even when the ADC was adopted as the political party for the coalition for 2027 elections, the leadership gave Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Nasir El-Rufai of the SDP forbearance to remain in our parties until the conclusion of some critical elections. So the question of my membership of the party is above the pay grade of any party member. Okay, it's above their pay grade. This is part and parcel of the original covenant of the coalition. Pay grade. This is part and parcel of the original covenant of the coalition. Peter Obi has elections in Anambra in November. He's going to campaign for Labour Party. We have elections in Niger State in November. I'm going to campaign for SDP. So whether I am in the SDP or ADC is not the material issue. I am one of the leaders of the coalition, and how we are putting our coalition together is for us to determine. It's not for anyone to question or interrogate.
Let me take you quickly to Kaduna. At what point did you fall out with the governor? What happened?
I've not fallen out with the governor.
Are you still friends with him?
No, he's not my friend.
Why? That's the man you...
He has never been my friend.
But
he was my boss. Say whatever you want to say, but this coalition was started...
Talking about the coalition, you know, Sheun, like I said, his questions are sometimes so random and sometimes so pedestrian, right? But at the same time, he does ask questions to, you know, put his guests in some uncomfortable positions. It's not always that comfy. And it's just that some of them have mastered the trade enough, especially the APC. They dodge the question. They deflect. All right? And it worked for them many, many times. And I think it's still working for them. I don't know for how long. Right? So there is more. There is that part of southern Kaduna. And El Rufaya, you know, it is being reported that you know, since El Rufaya left, the terrorist attacks on the people of southern Kaduna has somehow subsided, like it is reduced. And because of that, they are giving his successor, Ubanka, or Ubanza, Sonny, you know, the credit for that, for bringing peace and progress, something that has eluded the people of southern Kaduna for a long time. Well, El Rufaya had this to say, because according to him, it is not always like what it seems or it looks like. Yes, I've been painted as a monster, right? But did you know that this guy, Banza Sonny, actually made a deal with the terrorists that the state government paid them over R1 billion in order to at least reduce attacks or what have you. And recently, right, the state has witnessed, you know, many attacks too, that they have done their best to use the media to suppress the news, right? I want you to listen to that part, and there is even more. Trust me.
They know what is happening.
But is that the reason why perhaps you think that there's a slowdown in the attack on schools and kidnaps that we've seen in Kaduna? The quiet we've seen in the Benegwari
there is no slowdown.
The Kaduna Abuja.
I was governor for 8 years. I was governor of Kaduna State for 8 years. Only 3 schools were attacked in 8 years. Okay? This government has been around for 2 years. 3 schools have been attacked. And they paid the bandits. They paid them R1 billion the first time the school was attacked and students abducted. They are paying bandits. They are apologizing to them. They are
finding this information about R1 billion being paid.
Look, let the governor or anyone come and deny. We have the evidence. When the time comes, we'll reveal everything. They are paying bandits. They are empowering bandits. This is what this government is doing.
And you think that will not work?
It will not work. It has never worked anywhere in the world.
Let me ask you today, because perception is a part of life. I mean, how you are perceived and how you are seen may not exactly be your reality, but the way people perceive you, there might be explanation.
Intimidate them into joining. You know, governors that know what they are doing, taking from the till, will have no choice but to join the APC because, you know, when you are in the APC, you are immunized from being investigated for corruption. They will do all that. But at the end of the day, the Nigerian voter will decide based on President Tinubu's performance and the performance of governors. It is not a governor moving to a party that will make that party win elections. I was governor of Kaduna State. I was one of Bola Tinubu's biggest campaigners, but I couldn't deliver the state to him. Bola Tinubu himself couldn't win his state with his own governor in place. So these things are not as theoretical as people want them to be. And if you want to engage in self-delusion, you are free to do so. So I will not tell you how we are going to win, but I tell you very clearly, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the worst case scenario in the 2027 elections is that no winner will emerge in the first round.
You're coming to that one, right? Sorry. That was him speaking with that much confidence, like he's got, he's got the blueprint of how their 2027 election would go. So talking about his, hang on, let me see if I can put that up. But before that, right, I want us to listen to the parts of his embezzlement allegation. Remember, El-Rufai has been indicted by his successor, Banza Sani. Now, Banza Sani released a white paper that said this El-Rufai looted over 400 billion naira from Kaduna. And they were very specific, including some loans that were taken. And according to them, that were completely siphoned. Yeah, was El-Rufai. We're going to come back to that will be in 2027, as he said. Watch this.
Muslim ticket now. Tell me in what way Christians are now shortchanged. Nothing. No leader that wants to succeed will limit his choice of appointees to a particular religion or ethnicity. Okay? If you want to succeed, you have to diversify. Now we have cured the fear and the love for Muslim ticket. It has been done, buried, gone. I did Muslim ticket in Kaduna. I want to know which Christian in Kaduna was shortchanged because of the Muslim ticket. Nothing.
My final question on the issue of Kaduna, so we can move to national issues. At least you say it, and you pose yourself as an upright figure, at least in governance, either when you were in BPP, you were a minister, especially when you were a governor. But in your exit, there's been a lot of criticism. In fact, there are a lot of probes to your 8-year stay in office. And there are accusations about uncompleted projects and the manner in which the affairs of the state was managed. Did you make some errors, or there are those who acted on your behalf, which you think were not properly done? Do you have regrets as to the things that were done under your watch as governor of Kaduna State?
Okay, let me start with that. First of all, I have no regrets whatsoever about my tenure in Kaduna. And I'm very proud of my team and what they did. They did an excellent job. They work 24/7, 365 days a year for the progress of Kaduna State. And anyone that goes to Kaduna will see the difference. And we are proud of that. So I'm very proud of my colleagues that work with me, and I commend them, the work that they have done and their sacrifice. And they were not thieves. They were not crooks. Okay?
What about the allegations of money stolen?
I'm coming. Okay? However, some of the people that we worked with, that we helped, that we campaigned for, that campaigned on the back of our achievements and said they will sustain what we started. They will complete what we have not completed. They will continue on the path we have set for the state, which was the right path. Now came back and started saying things. Okay? A member of the State House of Assembly on your program said 423 billion were siphoned out of the Kaduna State Treasury under my watch. I have sued him and channels because you gave him the platform as a nominal defendant. We're in court. The entire amount of money that Kaduna State got in the 8 years I was governor was about 900 and something billion. Part of it was used to pay salaries, overheads, and run the government. If 423 billion was siphoned out of Kaduna State Treasury, it would not have been possible for us to do all the work that we did. And as I said, even a blind man that goes to Kaduna knows that we have transformed the state in many ways, in every sector. And there is no ward, no local government that we have not invested. And even the governor himself has said this several times before he got elected, but he got there and changed his story. But that's okay. Morally flexible people can do whatever they want. Okay? So, are we perfect? Of course not. We are human beings. When the State Assembly started the probe and people said, go to court, stop it, do that, I said, no. I was governor for 8 years, but I didn't do everything alone. I am also curious to know what each and every one of my commissioners and heads of agencies have done. Let them investigate. Let's see the results. Maybe there are people that we trusted that abused our trust. I want to see the outcome. But I wanted to see a fair process. I wanted to see the hearing taking place in open so that even Kaduna State citizens will hear what happened during our 8 years as governors. But they held the hearings in secret. People were not invited, but they were indicted, and so on. I don't want to say much about this because all these matters are in court. But I want to tell you, and I say this without any fear of contradiction. Number one, we ran that state with total commitment to accountability and probity. Number two, we are not thieves. We are not petty thieves. We are not corrupt. And we don't bribe people. We don't bribe the media. We don't bribe civil society to hail us. We worked, and the result is on the ground. And posterity will judge us. And the people of Kaduna State will send a very clear statement in 2027, when the elections come. That will be the answer to all the nonsense going on now.
Give me a breather. We'll take a break, everyone, but when we return...
All right, take a break. Right. So thank you very much to these two individuals. And I don't know if you are going to be comfortable kind of like saying your name. So I got your support. They kind of like came together. Sister Yinka T, and then Lababs. Thank you very much. Do you know why I actually requested for your support? And most of the time it's always at the end of the month like this. It's because since the YouTube madness and all that has cut down the views and the rest, so is the revenue. And since running this from my own end actually requires a bit of a fortune, right? And once I am like short, it simply means I'm going to be in deficit. I've been in deficit now for months until I have to ask for help. So every penny counts, and every one of it is greatly appreciated. God bless you. Thank you. Right. El Rufaya, now going to that 2027, because majority of them believes that 2027 will be the time they will correct their own mistakes. And especially for El Rufaya, his greatest mistake was to change his mind at the last minute and switched to Tifnumbu's side, pulled the string here and there, and indeed, Tifnumbu became the candidate of AP. And he went as far as campaigning for him. Of course, he didn't deliver his state for Tifnumbu. And his own defense is that Tifnumbu himself didn't deliver his own state for himself. So that is not any form of reason to downgrade him or underrate him. So the 2027, his projection then is there will be no clear winner. Everybody can continue to put their permutations together, but from what he has and what they have, right? Tinubu is gone. And he keeps saying that. Now listen to this part.
In my career as a journalist that I've covered, at least in this Fourth Republic, where elections are being talked about 2 years, clear years, before the next election. And you are one of those who caused it. As soon as you left the APC and you started criticizing this government, and you warned that you're going to send President Bola Tinubu back to Lagos, you are going to retire him, there are those who are asking, how would you do that? With a lot of people moving into the APC, there are governors now moving into the APC, and those who say whatever the opposition is doing is gradually and working steadily for Tinubu and the APC returning in 2027.
They can believe what they want to believe. They can engage in self-delusion. They can use the carrot and stick tactics, to lure governors or intimidate them into joining. Governors that know what they are doing, taking from the till, will have no choice but to join the APC because, when you are in the APC, you are immunized from being investigated for corruption. They will do all that. But at the end of the day, the Nigerian voter will decide based on President Tinubu's performance and the performance of governors. It is not a governor moving to a party that will make that party win elections. I was governor of Kaduna State. I was one of Bola Tinubu's biggest campaigners, but I couldn't deliver the state to him. Bola Tinubu himself couldn't win his state with his own governor in place. So these things are not as theoretical as people want them to be. And if you want to engage in self-delusion, you are free to do so. So I will not tell you how we are going to win. But I tell you very clearly, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the worst case scenario in the 2027 elections is that no winner will emerge in the first round. We may have to go for runoff. And Bola Tinubu will not be on the ballot for the runoff because he will at best be third in the election. He has no pathway to win. I have done the maths, I have done the analysis. He will be at best third. But he can deceive himself. He may think, I have money. Because they have taken all the money in the country. I have INEC, I have the police, I have the army. You know what, President Tinubu? Invite President Jonathan for a chat and ask him if he didn't have all this in 2015 and we got him out.
Is the case still the same, similar to 2015?
There
are those who will say Tinubu has never lost an election. And he's different as a politician compared to Goodluck Jonathan.
Tinubu has never lost an election. That can be contested, but it's okay. He has never lost an election. He's a political strategist. He's this, he's that. Wait. Nasir El-Rufai has said, if you want to learn some lessons, invite President Jonathan for a chat over coffee and ask him what happened in 2015. That's all.
If you were made a minister, would you be saying all this thing that you're saying?
If I was made a minister, I would probably have resigned. Once I saw the direction of the government, I would have resigned and I would have said the same thing. People think that this minister is big deal. I was minister when I was 43 years old, 20 years before. They're still talking about what I did in FCT. People forgot that I left the FCT 2007. I left the FCT 18 years ago. Okay? And I have no desire to be minister. I didn't want anything. I've made it very clear. People can come and say all kinds of things, revise history and so on. They are free to do so. As I said, people's opinion of me doesn't make me lose any sleep. I don't care. I know who I am. I know what I am. I sleep well every night. And I don't need anyone to validate me or your criticism to affect me.
Because your disqualification was based on security, that you're a threat, you're a security threat.
Yes.
And that's why.
Yes, and I'm still around.
They couldn't have you in government.
I'm still around.
In my career.
El-Rufai, do not little finger. Just this one, right? You don't have to kind of like write it down. Their permutation is for if everything goes well, they are able to, clip Atifku. So their permutation is for Obi Rufai 2027. But you didn't hear that from me. No, you don't. It's not something that you can bank on, right? But I've heard that repeatedly. And those who are projecting them are not just saying that from the blues. They are saying it from all these happenings of not being meetings, this and that, right? Whether that is going to materialize or not, time shall tell. Abi? So he strongly believes that every political leverage, or should I say all the leverage that Tifnubu think he has, that the ideal thing for him is to call Jonathan and ask him questions. Talking about Jonathan. Remember fraudsters Keyamo. I have a Templar here who is Otobo, and he said he sometimes feels so unhappy, knowing that Frostos has that middle name as well, which was given to him by me, literally, but there is actually a name Otobo, and Now, Frostos Keyamo released on his own X. He released an advice for PDP concerning their plan to lure Jonathan and Obi to become either of them to become their presidential candidates in 2027. Now, I'm just going to read it word for word, just, for the sake of this clip, and those who are going to watch this, maybe now, those of you watching, and those who are going to see this later, okay? So Frostos Keyamo said, let me poke my nose a bit today. The position of PDP is not an enviable one at all. He now kind of painted different scenarios, to back up his observation. He says, scenario 1, in 2023, PDP lacked the balls to deliberately zone its presidential ticket to the south, so it woefully lost its decades-long stranglehold on the south and southeast. The two of its most loyal regions since 1999. To correct that, it has now deliberately zoned its 2027 presidential ticket to the south to win back the southern regions into the party. Scenario 2, one of its attractive targets as a presidential candidate is ex-president Goodluck Jonathan because of his purported eligibility to run for one term. But if he is fielded, the party runs the risk of not having a candidate at all by virtue of Section 137, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, 4th Amendment. The constitutional amendment was made after the court judgment which cleared him to run in 2015. So nothing is decided yet on that new amendment. Hence, I use the word risk advisedly. All the argument as to whether the section can be interpreted to affect him will not be decided on social media, but at the Supreme Court. If he is barred from running after nominations have closed, and the PDP is cleared to having no candidate, nobody should scream judiciary is corrupt, because such a large party saw the judicial danger ahead and deliberately ignored it. Scenario 3. If the PDP decides to field its most attractive Southwest candidate, no other region of the country will vote for a fresh Yoruba candidate who would be eligible for fresh 2 terms in office. And that candidate will battle with the well-oiled APC structures in the Southwest. APC structure, well-oiled. You need a majority of at least 3 to 4 regions in Nigeria to win the presidency. Scenario 4. If the PDP woos back Peter Obi, scenario 3 above will still apply to him. Hence, all his shout of serving one term of reason. In addition, The principled ones amongst the obedient will see him as going back to his vomit of structure of criminality and may not be too vociferous in their support anymore. They play. This is happening to PDP because it committed an original sin in 2023 by lacking the balls to zone its presidential ticket to the south. The young social media warriors may lampoon anyone talking about these zoning sentiments, but that is the reality of our politics, and it is not about to end. Except something extraordinary happens. The party may have to wait till 2031. But let me face my work for now. That's Frostos Keyamo advising PDP legally and otherwise that they should, right, not play into their handle and later start saying, court, that's to you, right? In Edo State, where the Okwe Odoyo, the Dodoyo governor of Edo, was celebrating his birthday recently. And yesterday, it was also reported that it was meant to be the last Saturday of the month, which in itself has been dedicated for their sanitation day. Environmental day, remember? That time we did do environmental day, every last Saturday, I think. And they say it's been reactivated in Edo State. But some people didn't probably take it as serious. And they started picking them on the road. Just like the old days, 30, 35 years ago. I was a child when I used to witness this. Maybe this will bring back some memories for you too. This was in Edo State because they violated the environmental day. Watch this.
Calm down. This truck belongs to...
May they love themselves. May they love themselves. Hold on, I'll pull you. Hold on,
What did I do? It's not cold. What did I do? Why not respect yourself? You know what called that? Why not respect yourself? These people are pack your people over there. Let them put them for.
They're fully functional. They're fully open. We're not fully open. We're not open. The other guy was shouting from the door boy that he should remove the chain and clean the. No, that was not chain. We passed by. That was check on the man. You explain to the magistrate. You just explain to the magistrate. Sorry. You explain to the judge.
Come on. No, what you want to go back again? Don't put this in. So go like that.
Let me tell you.
No, let's go. You won't wear shoe? I'm for you to measure this way. You call your mama. Hey, I don't control the food. Yeah. Back. Okay. Don't feel comfortable.
There's always like enter. You enter the car. When you get to the station, you go explain yourself and all that. Right. Greg, is that your name? Greg or Greg? Yeah, your observation may be right. No. Your observation is kind of like okay, but no, that is not the reason why. Okay, so usually, I mean, I don't want to be going into the details anyway, but the phone call part of the program, right, on its own, never really attracted the views or the viewers, right? So over the time, if you have been on Maiyegun's diary Politico for a while, right, you will remember that we may have like, let's say on YouTube, we may have like 2,500 people watching, right? And then the moment I am like, yeah, so I will be back in a minute to take calls. And then you watch the old number drop because some people just wanted to listen to Maiyegun and, you know, and I have to give it to a lot of you who actually really stayed for the full hours, okay? So that's why I said that your observation may not be completely out of place, but it's a very good observation, okay? But again, if you remember what I just said now, if you think of what I just said now, you see that most times when we're like, okay, let's now take calls tonight, and people just, so if you do that with a small like number where you are like under 1,000, right? So imagine if I'm like, okay, now let's take calls, I'll be back in a minute. And from that, it just dropped down to 600 or 500. So that itself is not really motivating, you know? So that's why I always thank a lot of you, every one of you that always turn up, no matter the obstacle, as you know, where people don't receive notifications, okay? These are the factors, all right? Normally, what YouTube does is that, for example, right, if you have 100,000 subscribers like me, okay, that simply means that if YouTube wants everybody to see what I am doing, at least 60% of you will receive notification of anything Maiyegun posts. Do you get that now? Like you will see the notification. Doesn't mean that you're going to go and watch it or open it, but you will see it. However, there is a chance that if like 60 to 70% of you received the notification that Maiyegun is live, there's a chance that out of that 60, 70%, if 40% of you showed up, for example, during live, for example, 40% showed up to watch, that's going to be like somewhere around, like 30,000 people. Now, if you have 30,000 people that sees your clip, liked it, so that will also now multiply it by another, let's say another 3. What that will do is that you watching, because you watched and you liked, and you just passed on, maybe even if you only spend just 10 minutes watching Maiyegun, and you just liked it. Now, you see that number of people that will come and kind of see it, like it. There are those who are going to now push it. So the algorithm, right, is this AI stuff, right? So the algorithm would then pick that activity up. Like, 40,000, 50,000 people actually click on Maiyegun's diary Politico. So they will push it up. So suddenly, people will be seeing it in their recommendations. Even if you have not been watching Maiyegun, you're just watching channels, or you just watch something like, the Arise or something. The moment that's what you are watching finishes, right, or finished, Maiyegun will pop up randomly like that. So what they have done right now in the last few months, and I'm not the only person affected. So at least let's be reminded, okay, I'm not the only person affected. So what they have done is that barely 5% of you received notification that Maiyegun posted anything or Maiyegun is live. Barely 5%. Now see that number. That's like maybe, 5,000 people received notification that Maiyegun is live or posted anything. The rest of you just search. Like, I've not seen Maiyegun for a while. Let me go and search. I've not received notification all this while. Then you decide to go and search for me. Then you come across it. When did you make all this? I didn't see this. Or I didn't watch this. You get that now. So primarily it is controlled by them in that regard. So what that does is that it reduced visibility. When it does, the few that says it, and that's why the few of you that are here right now, clicking like, sharing, you are helping me. You are helping me to battle that because you are showing that you are here. You are actively engaging. So the algorithm will pick it over time. And I will just let everybody now see notification again. It's crazy, right? It is. But just an information to clear our minds. So that is why when my views got so reduced that way, it reduced the revenue and everything. And everything here is on budget. You get what I mean? So once you are short of what you are supposed to do, it's going to affect something for the next month. And here, you don't pay in arrears. You pay in advance. So every subscription, everything that needed to be paid for, just to make it all at least nice that we are doing right here, right? Actually cost money. So I'm cutting down though, like trying to cut cost. So every help actually really matters. So that's why we are where we are. Now let me take you to Kaduna after this Edo, right? There's something I actually wanted to say about that Edo stuff too. Even though Nigeria, they like to do things in such an abnormal way that they have normalized. The fact that you are all you are paying taxes in that place, they are collecting taxes there. All it's going to take the government, in fact, which can also create jobs for real, is just for the government to set up a structure that mapped every property in the state. That is something that, I don't know when they are going to do that, okay? The Nigerian Postal Service, 9 posts, they are supposed to be like the US Postal Service. They are the ones who are supposed to do this geo-mapping of every state, streets, corner, close, drive, all those things captured in such a way that it will be easier to have, a postal system that can tell everyone, right, what you are to pay and for what. In the UK, we have something called the council tax. In that council tax, we have the one that is, I mean, the council tax is also meant for, you know, waste collection and disposal, as well as water. So you pay for all of that. So you get provided water. You have your bins collected. So you have no reason to do fly tipping, you know, like just throwing things out there. Now, a system that government puts in place, people will have to pay for it. Is that not what government does? Nothing about government is free. Government raises money, like, you know, raises taxes for a purpose, and they encourage people to pay for them, and the service is delivered. In that regard, you don't need to be harassing or arresting anybody and cause the sanitation, environmental sanitation day. It's crazy, right? And that is quite a sector that can generate a lot of revenue on its own, waste collection and disposal. Papa, I don't understand what is wrong with these guys, all right? Collect all this waste, buy trucks, privatize it if you have to privatize it. Unfortunately, they don't even have good roads. They don't, you know, it's crazy. Infrastructure decay, all right, makes it more almost like impossible to do, but it's kind of easier, right? You have all the numbered houses, the street everywhere, and you give them colored of kind of bins. You let them separate their bins. Those who are like bottles, the recyclables, you put them away. The trash that just you put them away, separate them. Trucks come, pick them up. If they have to pay for the bins, right? Charge them, let them pay for it, provide it. Let every household have more than 2 massive, bigger, you know, bins. That will save all of this. But no. We were supposed to clean our environment. Of course you have to, right? But when you clean your environment, where do you put the waste? Where do you dump the waste? You give it to these truck pushers to collect from you and go and dump somewhere, or you put them in your cars, and fly tip them somewhere. That will end up where? In your drainages. Everything still lies with the government. As much as some of you will say, now people are very, very, nah, it is still the government. And that is why they have the sovereignty. Unfortunately, they were not really given the sovereignty freely, unfortunately. Right. In Kaduna, there are NAFDAC, right, which is you know, the agency that is there to regulate on you know, food, drinks, drugs, and what have you, in order to remove all forms of counterfeiting that puts people's lives in danger. So they were in Kaduna, somewhere in Kaduna, where they found these ABBA mixers, those who are making this agbo, and they have added it to their, you know, their current working well, kind of. So here, that's what happened.
This is cooking area where they are doing the cooking. This is the cooking area. This place is for cooking. This is to prepare the season concoction. Maybe this one has stayed for maybe a month. This is a drugs. This is a little bit of a product. What about? Can you put it? Can you put it?
You know, there are so many of such that we are consuming. Again, everything still falls back to a failed system. Let's assume those people making ABA drinks. By the way, that place is called the Mariga Jos in the Gabi Local Government Area of Kaduna State. All right, Mariga Jos. For those of you who are from Kaduna, you probably will know it, right? What they are doing inside that place, right? What is missing is the government agency regulating such, stuff. If you have a working system, and someone wants to be producing ABA drinks for medicinal, what have you, all it's going to take is just for a government agency, reliable one, who is responsible for your own health and all that, right? It is just for them to take samples of the content they are about to make. But first thing first, health and safety. Where are these medicine or what have you, ABA drinks are going to be produced? The environment, the equipment, the process of either cooking it or extracting the juice, and then the process of storage and all of that will continually not expose them to any form of health. I don't know, I'm not an health person, but you get what I mean. Check all of that and give them a green light to go ahead and produce, and then monitor them. With that, they will check and say, okay, it's safe for drink, it is safe for drinking, and it is safe for consumption because we have done all the tests. Remove all corruption, right? And those who probably don't fit into that standard never gets license to operate. And whoever does, they get life sentence. If they are found to be producing anything like that without their approval and all that, they get life sentence because they are putting people's lives in danger. They are risking or even killing people. That's how a working system works. So they will be forced to improve, right? They will be forced to improve on their own researches, to improve on their production, to improve in everything, because health and safety matters, right? But it is all, that is one out of maybe 100,000 people who are doing it. And the entire place is so saturated, right? With, right. Milady Omolara, you are right. Everything again. You said that there was a governor who did that in Lagos. They gave them beans, and people turned these supposed waste beans. They turned them into water containers. Again, government, responsible governments and their agents that are doing their job. I understand that's not how it works. So I'm just saying that where it works, right? You understand that, number one, why would you even use a bin, a waste bin as a water container? Are you mad? Do you get that now? So if the bin collectors, if they come and they found that the wastes from the building, from the house, are being bagged and just put aside, they will ask for their bins. If they said they have missed them, they will ask them to buy another one. Now, it's up to you. You can buy 5, 10 waste bins and turn them to your drums. That's your problem. Just make sure that you reserve the ones meant for waste collection. Where do people violate this? Papa is agency now. They must have a punitive sort of measure, right? For anybody that violates something like here in the UK here, right? If they give you your bin, your waste bin, which mostly will likely be free. And then something happens, maybe they steal your bin or it's damaged and you need another one. Baba, you go pay, but they won't charge you money that will cut your throat. No, it's just that, for example, now they may say you have to pay, for example, they may say you have to pay £70 or £75 to replace your bin. Now, that's £75 that could go into groceries, that could go into other things. Now, you know that without that your bin, waste bin, your bins won't be collected. And you know what that means, right? If your entire compound becomes so trashy, the council will write you. You will pay more for them to come and clean it up. So the choice is yours. When you look at all of that, Baba, you will keep your bin. You will protect it. You will even clean it yourself rather than, yeah? It all depends on those who are doing the job. Do you get that? People get away with a lot in that contraption because they think they can. And it seems that, yes, they can. But when you have a working system where everybody is doing their job and not looking out for any bribe or what have you, everybody will comply. Ask yourself, those who left Nigeria years ago and those who just left Nigeria with all this attitude of, big manism, anyhowness, right? Nobody they read those manual of the countries we are entering. Or did you see anybody who advised you when you got to UK or Canada or America? That in this place you don't do anyhow. Nobody you see everywhere say, oh, more, I go have to behave myself. There is no manual. A working system, right, will automatically, right, sort you. If you can't fit in, but you will see it now, you will always be in trouble. You either have to find somewhere else where lawlessness works. I'm just saying this. It's part of all the wishes that people have in mind when they talk about may Nigeria work. May Nigeria will be great again. I was like, come on. Enough. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I appreciate all of you, and I'll keep appreciating you since this is our own temple. And more or less like we have so much that binds us together here, right? And therefore, I am not taking it for granted, okay? So thank you so much for your help. Thanks so much for joining. And indeed, if anyone feels like, yeah, okay, Maiyegun or Richard and other, of course, use the PayPal, buy me a coffee. You know, if you are living in the UK and you probably don't like all these online transactions and all that, you can also, send a personal donation to Diaspora Radio International account. I will get it, every penny. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, Gabby, Greg, maybe next time, I won't care the number of us here. We'll take calls soon in one of these evenings, okay? But until then, please don't stop watching Maiyegun. I'll see you later. Good night. Totu, I got your message too. Bless you, Baba. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary, diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àníyàn sọ́ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí mò ń gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ́ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.